What up, fam? Welcome back to Omni-Awakened Evolution and another episode of Solos. And today I'm going to be addressing something that's going to rub some people the wrong way. Primarily, that is giving your power away, which is something that many teachers have been talking about for a long time. But today it's going to get real because we're going to cut through the bullshit. So let's get into it. All right, fam, welcome back, and let's get right into it. What are we doing? What is going on in the spiritual community right now that has me pissed off? That has me wanting to make a video to tell you to wake up. What is it? Shit like the flash of light. The flashlight is coming. The second coming of Jesus. You're going and seeing where teachers are telling you to give your power away to something that's coming. There's all this talk about the flash of light, and some channels going as far as to say ridiculous shit like, when the flash of light comes, people are going to be knocked to the ground, knocked out, and when you wake up, you'll be in the fifth dimension. And all the dummies who apparently weren't smart enough to ascend to the fifth dimension will just be gone off the planet. But that'll be okay, because all of us will understand that they went to a place that they wanted to go, and this is how the ascension works. No. How stupid of a notion is that? How dumb is it to think that God is going to come, the angels, archangels, or architects of our current reality, which we are a part of architecturing, if that's even a word, or building, that there would be a sudden change that would just rectify the problems that we created. I made another video. What are you? You are a piece and a part of God. You came here intentionally. I came here intentionally. We came here to experience the human experience in its entirety, in its fullness, in the wholeness of what it is to be a human. Not to have an angel come or a flashlight come and just completely alter reality against our will. It's not happening. Pull your bootstraps, folks. I know you're getting tired. We all are. It's been a long, grueling fight. Even over the many lifetimes that you've had on this planet, dark has been dominating, but no more. Everywhere you go, all the channelers, all the spiritual teachers, you listen to the past life regressions, the QHHT sessions, they all say that this is going to be the most amazing lifetime. That in this lifetime, we're going to see the most amount of change that humanity has ever seen. So let's take that into perspective. Think about the last 100,000 years that humans have been on this planet and the progression of humanity through those 100,000 years. However you want to believe in it. You want to believe in the Anunnaki stories and that we were tampered with and made into to be what we are today. Or if you want to take the evolutionary route and just say we were monkeys at one point and now here we are. I don't care. Either way you want to look at it. Look at the evolution of humanity from then till now. Were there ever any big changes where angels came down, despite what's said in the Bible, which we're not going to really get into, right? But even in the Bible, they didn't come down and change humans. An event like that has not occurred in the entirety of humanity. 300,000 years or somewhere thereabouts, humanity has been on this planet. And no single point where something changed because the divine came down and bam, a flashlight or a whatever comes onto the planet to make an amazing change. It's not happening. 300,000 years, there has been a progressive growth in humanity, progressive evolution. And now that goes exponentially faster if you look at the chart and see how humanity has been progressing over the last 100 years. It's been an insane growth rate, right? Because we're getting exponentially smarter and we're evolving exponentially faster. That is not to say that there's going to be some type of great thing that happens that alleviates all of our pain. So if you're sitting at home watching channeling, watching tarot, watching astrology, consuming any type of spiritual media that you want to consume, and you're sitting there waiting for the second coming of Jesus, you're waiting for an archangel or an angel to come down to the planet, or the extraterrestrials. You have a lot of people out there, and I'm a firm believer in extraterrestrials. I'm actually a firm knower. You look at channelers like Rob Gauthier, I don't need any more evidence. Wendy Kennedy, I don't need any more evidence. Extraterrestrials are coming. That's our galactic family. Anybody who believes that humans were created and no other beings in the entire cosmos were created, you're fooling yourself. But people are giving their power away, thinking that the extraterrestrials, the Galactic Federation of Light, is going to come down here and rectify what we have going on here and change politics and change governments and rescue us. It's not going to happen. Folks, get your shit together, pull your bootstraps, and get ready for a ride. Because by all accounts, channelings that I've watched, QHHT sessions, Pamela Erlin, and others who can project themselves into the future, there has never been a timeline in any of the events that I've ever listened to by any channeler, by anybody ever, any spiritual teacher, that has said that we're going to have a single event that will change humanity. In fact, the majority of these are telling us right now that shit's about to get real, right? The turmoil that you're viewing in politics, the uptick in the weather systems that we've been seeing, where weather's getting increasingly crazier. You have where Texas froze over and a bunch of people died. There's like a category 6 hurricane that was headed for Florida, the first category 6 ever. And it's just going to get worse. All the timelines that are being predicted, all the potential timelines that I'm seeing in the community, whether channeled or any other way that they've been obtained, all say, buckle up, get ready, because the shit's going down. It's just going to get crazier. The dark is being exposed, and they're not going to go out without a fight. If you think for all this time, 300,000 years that humanity has been on this planet and the dark has been dominating the narrative, controlling what we think, hurting us in every particular way that it wants us to go, and you think they're just going to roll over, the controlling elite are just going to roll over and give it up. No. Prepare yourself. Get ready. We have crazy weather coming. We have more political battles, more political unrest, more turmoil is coming. This is not a doom and gloom message. Okay, this is really telling you guys to get your heads out of your asses and stop hoping for some airy-fairy shit that's going to happen and change reality for you. Okay, this is going to be a transformative lifetime. I guarantee you, by the time we're on our deathbeds, every one of us right now, every one of you watching this video is going to look back and say, damn. And it's going to be a much different planet. But is all of our problems going to be gone? Hell no. No, it's not happening. We live in a world of duality, and not just a world, but we live in an entire existence, the whole cosmos. Anything that exists on this side of being incarnate, because you have the spirit world and then you have the physical world. Everything in the physical world is duality. It's all based on duality. right? And when we ascend up into fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth dimension, you still have duality. It's just a different perspective. They don't call it bad. They're just looking at it as the other side of the coin. On one side of the coin, you have the positive. On the other side, you have the negative. If you want to call it negative, negative has a negative connotation to it, but it's just the other side of the coin. And it's not going away, because for those who know, what are the Galactic Federation? What are the Pleiadians doing? According to them, they're sitting outside our atmosphere or somewhere in our solar system protecting us from negative ETs. This I've heard 100 times through channeling. There's good ETs out there, there's bad ETs. Now, if those Pleiadians are ninth dimensional Pleiadians, fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional, whatever, if they're a higher dimensional Pleiadian, which means they're higher dimensional than us, and they're protecting us from negative ETs that are in their dimensional realm, what does that tell you? We're not ascending into a place where polarity isn't going to exist. It's just going to be far more manageable. And we as a society of humans are going to be able to make clear choices as to what we want to experience. But you're talking hundreds of years down the road. Go to Pamela Erland's channel and see some of the episodes in specific where she's talking to future humans. There's a number of other channels out there who do this exact same thing. And all the predictions I've ever heard, 200, 300 years from now, the political climate changes, humans are not warring against each other as much. There's a bigger recognition of what we actually are, being that we're all part of the all that is. Spirituality has taken a stronger front for humanity, where everybody realizes, and at some point the extraterrestrials come down and integrate with us and are on the planet helping us evolve and improve our technologies. But never in any of them was there some magical shit that happened where bam, oh, everything's gone. Flash of light came. We're all love and light now. Stop it. Okay. Especially you Gen Xers out there. I am calling out to Gen Xers. What did we do? We raised hell in the 90s. Gen X was we do whatever we want. I don't care. Death metal, punk rock, gangbangers. Not that I want to promote that, but Generation X went wild. We were the rebels. Okay? Don't put your sword down yet. Don't give your power away yet. There may come the time where we can lay our swords down and be like, look, humans aren't killing each other anymore. We could take a deep breath. Everybody get in and let's get a group hug going on. 300 years plus, forget about it. You can see some individual improvements in each other's lives. You can live a better life, but you have to embrace this information that is coming through. The channelings, the QHHE sessions, the spiritual teachers who are telling you how to do better manifesting, how to clear your blocks. It's time that we start binding together as a community. We need to physically start coming together. Have neighborhoods of spirituality where we live amongst each other, where we can get a school going that'll teach what we believe, what we want our kids to learn, not what other people tell us that our kids should learn. Another thing is politics. A lot of times in spirituality, you hear people saying, don't watch news, avoid, don't participate in politics. No, that's bullshit. Okay? Do watch the news, but be selective. If you really want to inform yourself, what you do is you watch one news and then you watch the other side, the opponent. Listen to what both sides are saying, and it'll be very easy for you to make a decision, especially from a spiritual perspective, on who's telling the truth. Your intuition will clearly come through. And not that either side is ever going to be perfect, but we need to push along the side that's going to be making the most changes in favor of what we really want out of this planet. And it has to start here. I'm here in the United States. You may be somewhere else. But here in the United States, we have a unique opportunity with our First Amendment right to do and say what we want outside of breaking the law. And we need to take full advantage of that. And we need to move away from this message of avert your eyes. Because if you think that in a spiritual community that there aren't people in there doing the dark work and giving you spiritual messages that are cultivated by the dark, you're fooling yourself. You have to be very careful about the information you take in these days. There was a spiritual teacher like a week ago or 2 weeks ago who came out and made this huge rant against the president. How dare you bomb Iran? How dare you put us in jeopardy? Because she had a vision of a bomb going off, a dream. And so in her mind, the president has set us up to get bombed by who she says, Iran, that she believes has more crazier weapons than the US does, which is insanity. The US already has a nuclear bomb. Iran was trying to get there. That ability got shut down, at least for a good while. So clearly they don't have what we have, but she told her whole community that because of his actions, that we were looking at potentially getting bombed by some bomb that is crazier than anything that the Americans currently have. That their weaponry was potentially more advanced than ours. That's an insane person talking. That is an insane person talking. And who calls themselves a spiritual leader, a spiritual teacher. Fear mongering because of a vision. Be careful who you listen to, because this is dangerous information. Now, even though things are going to get harder for the collective, and they are, we're going to experience weather patterns that are more severe, crazier chaos, more uprisings. You're already seeing it happen in Europe. People are revolting against their immigration problems there. It's happening here, all over the planet. The dark is getting exposed. But what can we do? Instead of going into dread, tighten up the bootstraps and grab your Second Amendment weapon and get ready for the shitstorm. You don't have to do that. That's not what I'm telling you. What you can do is embrace this information, utilize what we're telling you, what teachers are telling you, how to improve your life, and we can create communities and utilize is a better term, some of these channelers who can look into the future and pull potentials. Nothing's guaranteed. But if you have 3 or 4 channelers who can all look into the future and they're all saying X, Y, and Z, then we can say there's a high probability that X, Y, and Z is going to happen. And so we can take action now to put ourselves into a position to mitigate any trouble or pain that might affect us. But that's not happening right now, right? Everybody's out there on their individual paths. They're all consuming and just doing your own little life. We all talk about oneness, but where are we really enacting oneness on the planet? Where are we coming together as spiritual people and laying our claim and placing our stake? That's my mission. I want to create oneness on the planet. I want to bring us together in a place where we can utilize each other's powers and abilities. Claircognizance, all the clairs, the channeling, the QHHD sessions. Very, very powerful information. We're talking to extraterrestrials. We're talking to spirit. They're giving us information from higher dimensions that can help us. Even if stuff doesn't happen, even if a channeler comes out and says there's a high probability of an airplane crash to happen on this day, right? You don't have to take it as fact. But what you can do is reschedule your flight to the day after or the day before. Why? Why not? It's like an inside trader tip. Are we 100% sure this is going to happen? Never 100%. But it's better to have some kind of insight than none whatsoever. And that's what we really need to do. Stop with the flash of light bullshit. Stop with the second coming of Jesus. Stop with all of that. It's not happening. You can count on the fact that the next 1,000 years on this planet will be highly transformative and we will evolve, but there won't be a single point of evolution that just jumps us forward like that. It's a joke. And if you think about it, the dark in spirituality, if they were going to do anything, what message would they be telling you? Right? The dark isn't going to come and tell you to get up in arms, to protect yourself, to prepare yourself for the hardship that's coming. No, the dark is going to come and say, there's nothing to fight against. There's nothing to worry about. You're ascending into the fifth dimension and it's all over. Just lay down and enjoy the ride. Why? Because that is the easiest way for you to be controlled and steamrolled over. By not taking action, by not participate. Don't look at the news. Don't be aware of what's going on in humanity, even though you came here to be part of humanity. Don't buy into the stupid narrative, folks. That's not what we're here to do. You are here to be a human being. We are humans and we're participating in this experiment, each and every one of us. And you've got to be present. That means watching the news, even if it triggers you. Okay? Recognize that you're getting triggered and correct afterwards. But you have to be aware of what's going on. And I want to break it down to you like this. I don't want to make this an insanely long video, but there's two factions in spirituality right now, right? You have the folks who are boots on the ground, and that's where I'm at. And then you have the folks who are love and light, who are out seeing the fairies, seeing the Bigfoots, right? Astral projecting, out-of-body experiences. And that's good. We need that. Okay, we need people who are representing the fullest extent of what love and light can be. But we can't all go there. It's just not sustainable. And it doesn't even make sense at this point, right? There is a real need to be super present and to be super aware of where the world's heading and to prepare yourself. If we know that crazy weather's coming and we're paying attention to the information as it's coming out, and they're saying the X, Y, and Z areas are going to be bad. This is going to be a freezing area. Texas is going to get hit by another polar vortex. The hurricanes that are going to go and hit Florida are going to get more insane. California is going to become a bigger desert. We can start planning to see where is the best place to go and live. Where's going to be the place that's going to be least affected? Get together. Utilize the technology that's coming out, doing our own farming, bartering and trading, supporting each other. Not running around like chickens with our heads cut off, waiting for the fucking flashlight to come and save you from what? Give it a break. It's not time to lay down and go soft. I don't care who's telling you that. To roll over. Shit's getting real. And let's just plan on it getting more real. And let's get more real with it. Pull it together, folks. We're in for a rough ride. It's going to be amazing when we get through this rough part. I really believe in the next 50 years, 75 years, there'll be substantial change. And I think we'll be in a better place at that time. But the rough times are coming. There is no doubt. There are no accounts where politics, geopolitics, religion goes away or stops being the fearmonger that it is. There are no accounts that I've ever heard in all of my research. And I'm telling you, I've listened to hundreds of thousands of channelings. I follow scientists. Look at my subscription list. the people who I subscribe to. There's everything there. Everything. Anything I can get my hands on that will explain our reality, what it is, how it functions, and where we're going as a human species is what I want to know. That's what my Gemini brain pushes me to do day in and day out. I have an earpiece in and I'm listening and I'm taking it in and I'm making account of all the things I hear and what the probabilities are for everything that are happening. And nobody is talking about smooth sailing going forth. Not for the next 100 years. Now, everything changes, but I believe zero potential for the flashlight making a big change. If the flashlight happens, it might be like a small DNA upgrade. Something that is not going to be immediately noticeable. Something that will unwind for humanity over time as we progress. Helping people awaken more easy. Helping people tie into their abilities more easy. But an instantaneous change point, not happening. Get it together, fam. Let's do this. Let's get real. Let's get practical. Go out and find some very good news sources and find a very bad one and listen to it, even if it triggers you. You want to know what's being said on both sides because then you will know where to stand. So then, what is the change that we can expect? I would say, especially here in America, you will see more of people coming together. This whole immigration issue is a big problem. We have people here who are undocumented and we don't know what their backgrounds are, what they're doing. And to get to being a sovereign nation, if you want America to be the leading light, if you want to maintain your First Amendment rights, we got to clear out all of the illegal people that are here. As nicely as we can, as respectfully as we can. But we have to be able to protect all the citizens here in America. And once that is done, and we can make our communities, which we should start doing now, and becoming prosperous and preparing for what's coming while keeping our eye on the ball, it'll be a better life. Individually, med beds are coming, right? You see stories of spontaneous remission. People who have stage 4 cancer one day, the next day they don't. How does that happen? Consciousness, spirituality, realizing the truth of who you are, what you are, and what you're capable of. And there's people out there to help you. Imagine being able to go to a place where there's like a Reiki healer, a past life regressionist, a nutritionist, and add in whatever favorite modality that you want. Bioreprogramming. Going to one place, just say it's a corner shopping mall, and you got 8 or 10 different things you can do there to improve your health, to improve your well-being, consolidated. And then going back to your community where people are generally happy, not living in fear. Kids are out in the streets again, playing, riding bikes, being happy, not being drugged to church. Get on your knees and pray and give your power away, or wait for the flash of light, or wait for the extraterrestrials. We don't need anybody. I'm happy to be part of the galactic family. I'm happy to expand out into the cosmos as a species. But right here, right now, pull your bootstraps, tighten them up. Make sure your family's prepared, because it's not going to be milk and honey, right? We're going to go through a rough spot, but we can mitigate that impact on that rough. When I say we're going through a rough spot, that's a collective rough spot for all of humanity, right? There's a lot of places to live on this world. And with having the information that we have and being privy to the potentials that may happen on this planet, by confiding in our channelers, by confiding in our spiritual teachers, we can mitigate the problems that are going to affect us directly by coming together and supporting one another and building community. That's what we need to be focusing on. We need to be focusing on building community and getting strong. We need to get behind one another, support one another, and be extremely cautious with the information that you take in. Take it in, meditate on it, but don't believe anything. I don't care if it's from your favorite teacher. We can all be wrong, myself included. But that's my message for you today, fam. Do not let the dark fool you. Do not let the dark forces convince you to lay down on the ground and wait for a stupid flash of light that is not going to change anything. Okay? You're here on this planet. Your decisions, the votes you make for the politicians in your local area and for the politicians in government and our president, whoever the next president is going to be, it makes a difference because we're here now. ETs aren't going to come down and change our political climate. The flashlight isn't going to change our political climate. You have to be present. You have to own your humanity while you're here on this planet. Don't give it away. Come on, Generation X. It's not time to roll over now. Pull out that punk rock. Pull out that death metal. Pull out that hard rap. Pull out that rebellion that we did in the 90s. It's not time to stop. Right? We have young ones. I have 2 kids. I'm sure a lot of you have kids. Right? We're the trailblazers, and it's time to get to work. Time to get back to work. It's not over. It's not time to become a bunch of soft. You know what I'm about to say. But I'm going to keep the vulgarities to a minimum. Don't become that. Be serious. Be real. Be practical. And let's make a better future for our children. Not by being a bunch of wusses. Not by being a bunch of soft-ass people who are giving their power away and waiting for somebody else to do it for us. It's time to get to work. That's my message for you guys today. Because I love you. Because I love myself. Because I love my children. Because I love my nation. I love America. And I love this planet. And one day we're going to evolve into an amazing species that is going to be spacefaring. And who knows what kind of amazing shit there is to get into out there in space. But right now, we're here on planet Earth. Right now, we're here in America. And that's where we need to keep our eyes. Present time, present moment, looking forward, planning for the future, and utilizing every tool available to us, every tool to make a better future for us and our children and our children's children. Don't quit. Don't stop now. Let's get to work. Love you guys. That's the end of this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one.